see it everywhere, right? On pretty much every job site, there's that flash of bold red that just screams heavy duty. We're talking about Milwaukee Tools, of course. That color is one of the most iconic brand identities in the entire world. But have you ever stopped to ask, where did it actually come from? Okay, let's get into this, because the real story, it's so much more interesting than what you probably think.
It's the big question, isn't it? And, the most common answers seem pretty obvious. People have some really strong feelings about what that red is supposed to mean.
I bet you've thought this yourself. It's got to be about power, right? Or the fire inside a motor, the raw strength you need to get the job done. I mean, it makes perfect logical sense. And it's completely wrong. So the truth is, the story that everyone just assumes is correct, it's a total myth. The real reason for Milwaukee's famous color has absolutely nothing to do with some grand marketing strategy or deep psychological insight. And there you have it. That's the real reason, straight from the company's origin story. When A.F. Siebert relaunched the company way back in 1924, his choice wasn't about branding at all. It was purely about what was practical. It was about the bottom line.
Seriously, that's the whole story. The color that would end up defining a century of tool culture was chosen for the most unglamorous reason you can possibly imagine. Just let that sink in for a second.
So the foundation of this now legendary brand identity was a complete and total accident. It was just a practical financial decision somebody made in the 1920s. But here's what's so wild. That accidental choice turned out to be secretly and unbelievably brilliant.
Okay, this is where the story gets really, really cool. So they might not have chosen red for its psychological punch, but they just happened to stumble upon one of the most powerful colors in the entire spectrum. It was, by sheer luck, a perfect match.
The color red has this incredible effect on our brains. It's not passive. It literally grabs your attention and sets off a physical response. Studies have shown it can actually increase your heart rate, make your reactions faster, and get this, it can even reduce analytical thinking. Think about that for a moment. It's the color of doing, not the color of standing around and thinking about doing.
And that makes it just tailor-made for a job site, right? In a busy, high-energy, sometimes chaotic work environment, you want tools that feel like pure action. You just want to grab it and go. By complete chance, Milwaukee picked the one color that neurologically primes you for exactly that.
But, an accidental color choice doesn't just become a cultural icon overnight. That transformation, it happened over decades. And it didn't happen in some fancy boardroom. It happened out in the field, on countless job sites day in and day out.
This right here is the absolute key. That nickname Big Red, it didn't come from a Milwaukee marketing campaign. No way. It came from the electricians, the plumbers, the carpenters, the people who use those tools every single day. And that is the most powerful kind of branding there is. The kind you earn, not the kind you buy.
Now let's look at the logo, because this is where things get really interesting. While the color was a total fluke, the rest of the logo was incredibly intentional. That lightning bolt, it's a nod to their electrical origins. The slight diagonal lean, it creates a sense of forward momentum, of progress. And that custom font, with its sharp, bold angles, it just screams power. It's a design so good, so timeless, it's basically been unchanged for 100 years.
So let's fast forward to today. That accidental color is now a major competitive weapon in a huge global market. It isn't just a piece of history. It's an active, day-to-day strategy. Just take a look at this. The entire Pro Tool industry is basically a color wheel. DeWalt owns that bright yellow for visibility and caution. Makita's teal feels precise, sophisticated. Bosch's blue comes across as calm and technical, like engineering. And then there's Milwaukee, owning red, the color of pure, unadulterated power and urgency. Each brand is trying to claim a piece of that psychological spectrum.
And why does any of this matter so much? Well, because research suggests that color can influence up to 85% of a customer's decision to buy something. 85%! In a crowded aisle at the hardware store, being instantly recognizable isn't just a nice to have, it's everything.
Now, here is a twist that most people in the US have no idea about. Outside of North America, the famous PACKOUT storage system, it's not all red. It's actually black with red details. And there are two big reasons for this. First, in a lot of global markets, black is seen as more professional grade. And second, on a really practical level, black plastic is just cheaper to make. The fact that they keep it all red here in America tells you just how deep that big red identity runs. It's literally worth paying more just to maintain it.
So we've got an accidental beginning and a powerful psychological effect, but the final piece of this puzzle is just sheer endurance.
How on earth did this color survive for an entire century?
Take a look at this timeline. The company has been bought and sold over and over again through the decades. We're talking new owners, new management, completely new corporate strategies. But through all of that, the one thing that every single new owner was smart enough to leave alone was the color. The red was untouchable.
And that brings us to what might be the most important takeaway from this whole thing. The color red itself didn't have any magical power. It was just cheap paint. It was 100 years of building tough, reliable, heavy-duty tools that finally gave that color its meaning. The product gave the color its power, not the other way around.
So in the end, it leaves us with this question. What really creates a legendary brand? Is it some meticulous, brilliant strategy all planned out in a boardroom? Or is it sometimes just about making a fantastic product and letting a perfect accident do the rest? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.